Okay, this is update number 4 of the Moebius Flying Sub build, and I have the fusion core of the wall completed, photo etched in, and I have it set up. I'll go ahead and turn the lights on here. And what I have is the fast rotating RGBs and for the fusion core. Now I have one set, actually I have two sets set into the back wall, and I only have one set working at the moment. With these RGBs that I have here, the ones that I bought, I found that if I wired them up in a parallel circuit, that they would all blink the same color at the same time. So I had to wire these up in a series versus a parallel, so I get an alternating flashing system the way I want it. And we'll go ahead and switch this over to both channels working at the same time. And that is both channels working at the same time. It's a little bit more bolder effect. I think I'm going to resistor it down a little bit more. I think I have 2K resistors on each channel on this right now. I'll bring the color tone down a little bit because on the show it wasn't quite this bold and bright. So I'll flip it around and show you what I did. So here's a look at the back side. What I had to do was I had to build this wall out a little bit, so I added some 1/4 inch stock in there, and then I put a backing on it. The inside is a silver color versus a white color. And I ran the 3 series across the top and the 3 series across the bottom. I can go with either just a 1 or both hooked up. I'll decide that later on down the road. I still have yet to connect in these 2 bottom panels here for the fiber optics that I'm going to be running in there. I'll be doing another video on that down the road. That's pretty much complete. So we're going to move on to the thrusters. Okay, we got the thrusters all set up. We'll go ahead and turn them on. And there's nothing really fancy about the thrusters. All this is essentially is it's 3 LEDs per port. And what I did was I added in a candle flicker red, orange, and blue. And that's it. Nothing more than that. Resisted them down, and that's what I'm going to go with. And these are the secondary wall panels that I have done on the control panels. Now my original plan was to use the decals that came along with the photo etch. I did try them, but there was some problems that I had with the decals sticking to the brass. I used adhesive promoter, and it still didn't help. So on Jupiter 2 projects in the past, I forgot that I used to use the Pledge Floor Care acrylic as a binding agent to the decal, to the metal, and it works out a lot better. I forgot that kind of way of doing things. I tried to do this with just, ordinary decal set solution, and the decals got foggy and they lost some detail, so I took some tape and just stripped them off, and I painted the details on the control panels. I already have them pre-lit, or pre-lensed, and then I used dental acrylic on the back here. I'll get this set up in a second here. So basically what I'm going to need to do, I'm going to need to build this wall area out just like I did the other one. I used a dental acrylic after hogging out all this material for the photo etch, and then I put clear dental acrylic in there. I used the Ortho Jet powder which is crystal clear. And then there's a monomer that comes along with that. This you can buy off eBay. There's one seller in particular that handles it. It's a little pricey, but this canister alone has lasted me over 3 years, and I've hardly even put a dent in it, and I use it a lot. I've only used about maybe 1/10 of the bottle after 3 years, so it goes a long way. So what I have now is an LED behind the wall, and I'll give you a quick look at what it'll look like. I tried to back the lens off because it was flaring out quite a lot, but in person it looks pretty good. I've got the mixed colors in on that. All I have left to do is fiber optic out these channel ports here, and I'm going to do that in warm white, leave the rest white. And here's the other wall panel on the opposite side. I added a little bit more color up top here to make a variance. Now the colors on this control panel are kind of like all over the place. Between the Real series, it varied from season to season, and then builds themselves that I follow on Cultman TV or whatever, the forums. Everybody's got their own interpretation of what color goes where, so it's pretty much how you feel you want it to be. I mean, there's no right or wrong way, in my opinion. And as a finish to this video, I got both sections of the hull done. This is the bottom section of the flying saucer, and I did not prime either one of the sections of the hull. I sanded it down with 800 grit sandpaper, which was already a yellowish color, and then I put the Tamiya lacquer chrome yellow over top, which is this color right here. I did that because the colors were so close together, and I have yet to have to mask all this off here and put the blue striping in. So if the paint did chip while I did that, the under color here will be almost the same as this anyway. So if it does chip a little bit, I'm not going to sweat it. I've masked these off before, and sometimes it does happen. I thought about priming the surface of this, and I'm just going to leave it the original color and just paint over it with the Tamiya chrome yellow lacquer. As long as you sand it and give it something to bite onto, hopefully you shouldn't have any problems. The underside here I did prime with black paint as a light blocker, and then I had some paint left over, and I just spritzed it with some of the yellow that I had left. Doesn't have to be perfect because the floor is going on top of that. You're not going to see it anyways. So that pretty much wraps up this update, and I'll catch you on the next one.
When I watch Greg's workshop, I'm fully satisfied every time.